Welcome to Boozy Fest 2021 Fusion of Flavors. Just a few guidelines before we start the masterclass. Please mute your microphone during the class unless the speaker will open the class for questions. Set the screen on speaker view. Prepare your food and tasting kit. Sit back and enjoy the masterclass. The 2021 Boozy Fest Fusion of Flavors is presented by Globe, Shivas, Jacobs Creek, Jameson, Johnny Walker, The Singleton, and Tanqueray, in partnership with Barefoot Wine, Campari, The Dalmore, Jose Cuervo, Smirnoff Mule, So Nice Soju, and Tam Navulin. This event is also supported by Don Papa, Lala Move, WhenInManila.com, and DrinkManila.com. Welcome to Boozy Fest 2021 Fusion of Flavors. Just a few guidelines before we start the masterclass. Please mute your microphone during the class unless the speaker will open the class for questions. Set the screen on speaker view. Prepare your food and tasting kit. Sit back and enjoy the masterclass. The 2021 Boozy Fest Fusion of Flavors is presented by Globe, Shivas, Jacob's Creek, Jameson, Johnny Walker, The Singleton, and Tanqueray, in partnership with Barefoot Wine, Campari, The Dalmore, Jose Cuervo, Smirnoff Mule, So Nice Soju, and Tam Navulin. This event is also supported by Don Papa, Lala Move, WhenInManila.com, and DrinkManila.com. Welcome to Boozy Fest 2021 Fusion of Flavors. Just a few guidelines before we start the masterclass. Please mute your microphone during the class unless the speaker will open the class for questions. Set the screen on speaker view. Prepare your food and tasting kit. Sit back and enjoy the masterclass. The 2021 Boozy Fest Fusion of Flavors is presented by Globe, Shivas, Jacob's Creek, Jameson, Johnny Walker, The Singleton, and Tanqueray, in partnership with Barefoot Wine, Campari, The Dalmore, Jose Cuervo, Smirnoff Mule, So Nice Soju, and Tam Navulin. This event is also supported by Don Papa, Lala Move, WhenInManila.com, and DrinkManila.com.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Chris from Jacob's Creek, the #1 bottled wine brand in Australia, and welcome to the Jacob's Creek Wine Masterclass. We all know that wine and cheese goes well together, so we partnered with the Malagos Farmhouse from Davao to give you the best of Australia with Jacob's Creek wines and the best of the Philippines with Malagos artisanal cheese. So before we begin, just please check if your masterclass kit is complete. So for your tasting kit, you should have a Jacob's Creek Moscato Rosé and either a Jacob's Creek Double Barrel Shiraz, or the Jacob's Creek Double Barrel Cabernet Sauvignon. Aside from the wines, you should also have the Malagos artisanal cheese hamper set with 3 kinds of cheese, the Ingrid rosemary, the pepato, and the capriccio. So in preparation for the tasting later, just please make sure that your Moscato Rosé is chilled, and if you haven't chilled them yet, now is the perfect time to place it in the fridge. So be ready when we get to the tasting portion in about 30 minutes. The Jacob's Creek Double Barrel Shiraz and Double Barrel Cabernet Sauvignon can be enjoyed in room temperature, so there's no need to chill that. You will just keep it in a cool, dry place. So we encourage everyone to be comfortable and have your cameras on so we can see how you're going to be enjoying our multi-awarded wine. So just a few notes before we start the session. Please do share how you're going to be enjoying the Jacob's Creek wine by tagging us on Instagram at Jacob's Creek Wine and by using the hashtag quality worth sharing. So make sure that your video doesn't capture any of the following. Number one, people that are not part of the session, especially minors below age 18 years old. And number two, items or elements relating to minors such as cribs, children's toys, etc. And lastly, other alcoholic drinks aside from Jacob's Creek. And most importantly, please don't forget to drink responsibly. So for those who bought the masterclasses from Boozy.ph, you are entitled to join and play a game at the end of the masterclass via a Kahoot online quiz. So stick around because the top 3 highest scorers will win 1 bottle of Jacob's Creek Moscato Rosé each. And it will be delivered straight to your homes by our friends from Boozy.ph. So let's all enjoy and learn from our host for tonight. She's born and brought up in France. Hortense Delaporte is a true French lady who is fully on board to spread her love for wine. So growing up close to famous wine regions of France, Hortense took interest in the industry, which quickly turned into her passion. So Hortense has an extensive knowledge with a master's degree in wine business in Bordeaux and several experiences of the wine industry, having worked as a wine cellar manager in Paris. So furthermore, she consolidated her passion for wines over the world by getting her WSET3 diploma, and she has been working as a wine ambassador for 2 years with Pernod Ricard India before she took her new role in Singapore in August 2021. So now she's ready to make you appreciate and understand wine in a non-snobbish way. So take it away, Hortense.
Hi everyone, magandang gabi, kumusta ka? Thanks for the introduction, Kurt. Thank you so much. Okay, I hope guys you're ready for a fun session, a non-snobbish wine session. So today we'll go through a bit of the Jacob's Creek brand, the story, the wine region, but also some wine basics such as how to taste wine like a pro or almost, and then the wine tasting, so you can practice just what you learn, followed by the cheese and wine pairing explanation. So I will try to give you my best tips about pairing. If you have questions during the live, drop them in the chat bar. Don't be shy. Wine can be tricky and intimidating, and I will try to answer them as best I can. So as Kurt said, you can prepare your wine glasses, remove the reds from the cheese from your fridge, so they will be at the right temperature when we will do the tasting in about 30 minutes. And we will have the Kahoot game quiz at the end, and such nice prizes to win. So just a bit about me, but Kurt said it a lot. My name is Hortense, I'm French, but I do know well the Philippines. I was living in the Philippines in 2018 for 1 year, so I can't wait to go back. So salamat, and let's start. Okay, so let's start with a bit of background, history, and a few fun facts on Australia, vineyards, and the Jacob's Creek winery. So Jacob's Creek is all about bringing people together. It's more than a wine. When you bring a bottle of Jacob's Creek, basically you are really bringing the warm, generous, life-loving attitude that is truly Australian, but that can be experienced by anyone. So that's also why I love wine. To me, wine is really the taste of life. It's full of flavors. It brings the people together. So yeah, it feels like the perfect indulgence. It's a sharing drink. Really, it's a sharing drink, a convivial drink to enjoy for a different occasion. So just about the wine regions of Australia, and you can see Australia is huge, but the Australian wine industry is one of the world's largest exporter of wine, with approximately 800 million of bottles exported to overseas markets. So let's say they keep a bit less of 30% of the production for themselves. So they are the largest wine production region by far in South Australia. And the vineyards are really concentrated in the southeast of the state, of the South Australia state. And there is a region to the north of Adelaide, which is 1 hour driving from Adelaide, which is called the Barossa Valley. And the Barossa region is the heartland of the fine wine production. So it's stunning, you can see it, it's beautiful. And here is the home of Jacob's Creek. It's located in the heart of the Barossa Valley in south of Australia. The place is open to the public, so hopefully will be soon able to travel, touch wood. And the site is wonderful. You have a cellar door, you have a restaurant. You can spend a few days over there. Yeah, you can just walk in the vines. It's such a nice visit to pay you. So the Barossa Valley is the warmer sub-region within the Barossa, with high max temperature, high sunshine days, low humidity, low rainfall. So it's what we call the Mediterranean climate, and it's often what we say as being the ideal climate to produce full-bodied red and generally robust white wines. Just a bit of history, because I'm pretty sure you know Jacob's Creek, but I'm not sure you know the story behind the brand. So Jacob's Creek history started over 180 years ago from the heritage of a Bavarian immigrant. So this guy, you can see in the picture, his name was Johann Kramp. So he was, German, and settled, he immigrated to the Australia. And he settled on a small piece of land next to a creek, so a river, which was belonging to Sir Jacob. And they become really good friends, and they loved wine, and he missed his wines from his country. So he was like, the soil is good, the climate is good, amazing. Let's try to plant the first vines here of the Barossa on the banks of Jacob's Creek, of his friends. And he founded in 1847 the Grant and Sons business. And I think he couldn't even dream it would become one day such an icon of premium wine known all around the world. So it's actually a real treat. So when you will be there, you can see the river, and that's the fun things to see. Here a bit of brand achievements, because we are very proud of it at Jacob's Creek. So Jacob's Creek is the #1 Australian wine brand in Australia and in 22 other countries. And really, Jacob's Creek connects the people around the world with over 1.7 million glasses of Jacob's Creek poured, enjoyed every day. So that's really the power of Jacob's Creek, the power to connect to each other through wine. So Jacob's Creek is exported in over 86 countries and is the #1 Australian wine brand, the most loved wine brand in Australia. And the reason is also because we have earned so many awards, over 8,000 awards at wine shows over the past 30 years. So Jacob's Creek is trusted by consumers for their quality. So we are very happy and super proud, of course, of all these achievements. So here, I just like to show that because it's fun when you have the bottle in front of you. You have this logo, and well, I was the same. We don't much pay attention to it, but you can see quite clearly on the label the 2 wine leaves, of course, it's fine, the wine glass in the middle, and the flowing creek right in the middle that is running through the Barossa. So I thought it was a fun thing to show you here. Now you know it, you won't miss it anymore. And just because I told you a bit earlier about all the achievements, all the awards, all the accolades Jacob's Creek have had, and the job has been done by an incredible man whose name is Dan Swinzer. He's the chief winemaker, and I like to show really the face of the winemaker here. To me, wine is quite similar to art. So if you are sensitive to art, you understand. To me, it seems to be like Dan Sweeter is the artist crafting the wine. So he's working at Jacob's Creek Vineyard since 15 years, for the past 15 years. So he knows what he's doing. So that's why also he's leading one of Australia's most important wine brands. So okay, now I would like to show you a video. Our partner for cheese tonight, Malagos Farmhouse, has a nice and so cute video. Malagos is the local Filipino brand producing high quality artisanal cheese. So that we will taste together. I have my cheese here and my 3 glasses of wine ready to be drunk very soon. And so yeah, let's start it. Sorry. So, okay. I will need to put it with the sound. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. I'm here. Share sound, share. Okay. Sorry, technical issue. That won't be long. Okay, now that should work.
In 2006, the feta that I was making was chosen as the cheese of the month at the Cheese Club of the Philippines in the Manila Polo Club. And I just kept following the trail. And I learned how to make cheeses, and I applied each and every learning and tweaked everything that needed to be tweaked to make it suited for Philippine conditions. First, you have to have the best and the freshest milk you can have, because milk is the single most important ingredient in cheese making. We take pride in setting up our laboratory for protocols in receiving the milk. So we check the milk in the farm. We check the milk when it gets to the processing area. We check the milk after pasteurization. I feel that the enterprise is not just about making good cheeses, not just about catering to the requirements of the niche market of cheeses in the Philippines. I think it's about developing talents. It's about celebrating humanity. It's exciting because it's such a volatile, it's such a dynamic product. You change one bit in your protocol, and the end product will be different. It's carefully crafted. The small production enables you to see the development on every step. on every stage of production. Artisanal because, well, the artisan put her life and her soul in each of this product, you know. You have such an attachment to the product because it's small batch. And I think that's the heart of an artisan. I am proud of every ounce of the cheeses that come out of the Malagos farmhouse.
Lovely, that seems delicious. I can't wait to taste the cheese. Wow, it smells so good. It's right under my nose, so I can't wait. Let's go back to wine. But someone asked me earlier, what is wine? And I thought it was like such a simple question, but actually that's a good question. And the best answer I can say is wine is made by fermenting grape juice. And why wine grape juice and not table grape juice? Basically because they are different. So the grapes you buy at the supermarket or the palenque, they will be completely different. The wine grapes are smaller, they have a thicker skin, they are sweeter, they have a lot of seeds, everything that is made to produce wine and not just taste grapes. Basically, it's not the same thing. Okay, just I wanted to share a few tips on how to taste wine, and the following wine tasting tips are practiced by sommeliers to refine their palates and sharpen their ability to recall wine in future. So even if this method is used by professionals, it's quite simple to understand, and it can help you also to improve your wine palate with time. So anyone can taste wine. All you need is a glass of wine, a brain, and to trust yourself. Wine is subjective, so don't be shy. Here you can see the 5 steps to taste wine, and I prefer to call it the 5 S's. So the first one is see, look at the wine, okay? See, swirl, smell, sniff, taste, okay, so sip. And the last one is conclude here, but it could be like savor, share, pass the bottle and just share the wine with the other one. So the first step, see, look at the wine. It's just to observe the wine in your glass. So you have to check out the color, the opacity, the viscosity. You don't really need to spend more than 5 seconds on these steps. A lot of clues are actually buried in its appearance, but unless you are doing a blind tasting, everything is on the label, basically. So the first step is really when you do blind tasting. Here I can share a tips with you. Usually with red wine, the color becomes lighter as red wines age. And for the whites, it's the opposite. So the color becomes darker as white wines age. So if you have a Chardonnay and you wait for 10 years, it will be a bit darker. If you have the Shiraz that we have here, and you wait for 10 years, it will become a bit lighter. Okay, great. So the second step is swirl. Swirl, when you have to swirl, so you have to hold your wine glass that way, okay, through the stem. That's why the stem is used for, and it's also to avoid to warm up your wine glass. So yeah, you have to hold your wine glass that way or through the base, basically. Well, it's okay if you do that way, but just like swirling helps to release the hundreds of different aromas, compounds you have in the wine. So it will just open up the wine, it will let the wine to be in contact with the oxygen. If you're not comfortable doing that way, you can just put it on your table and swirl it on the table, so you won't spill it all around. The third step, smell, sniff the wine. So to smell the wine, you have to position the glass just below your nose. It's not like for whiskey. Whiskey, it will be much more like far from the glass. But for wines, you can just below your nose that way. And you take a quick light inspiration just to judge the intensity of the wine. And if the wine is highly aromatic, you will be able to smell it quite distinctly. So it will allow your brain a chance to develop an aromatic profile of the wine before you taste it. And this step is actually really, really important. 80% of what you taste is actually coming from what you smell. We can smell much more than what we can actually taste. So take your time on this step. It will really help you to build your wine profile. So try to identify a few aromas. Think big to small. Okay, don't be too specific. Getting too specific or looking for one particular note can be really frustrating. So think of broad category first. So is it like agrumes? Is it like fruity? Okay, it's fruity. Is it like red fruit? Is it black fruits? Okay, it's more like red fruit, let's say. And then like is it more like strawberries nuts, raspberry, and go step by step. Don't try to go directly to something super precise. Even if it's a memory to you, like something that recall you something when you were a kid, that's perfect. Like it will lead you to what is the aroma. So you can practice actually. Like it's something very difficult. I agree, but as soon as you practice, that really helps you to become better. And if you don't practice, and sometimes I don't do it often, like you lose with time. So yeah, I recommend you to practice as much as you can. Okay, so the fourth step is taste, sip the wine. This one is my personal favorite one. So when you taste wine, you will focus on flavors, fruit, aromas, herbal notes. So everything you smell basically will be like can be or cannot be, but the same as what you are tasting. And the feels, and this is the most important when you taste. It's the structure. When I mean structure, it's the sweetness or dryness, the acidity, the tannins, the alcohol, and the body. So 5 things to remember. The sweetness, I'm not worried for you, Filipino. You have a sweet palate and you are super good at it. So many dry wine have a small amount of residual sugar, which we sense as oiliness. So yeah, that's something like on the tip of your tongue. As soon as you sip it, as soon as you take wine in your mouth, you can taste if it's sweet or not. Then the acidity. So the second one is how tart. The acidity is the level of sourness in your wine. It will make your mouth water. It's just like a lemon. You know, like the lemon, just like take bite in the lemon. You know, it will really make your mouth water. Here on the side, it will like create a lot of saltiness in your mouth. This is the acidity. Then the tannins. This one can seem a bit like complicated to get, but if you are a chocolate eater, black chocolate, or a tea drinker, you will know what I mean. Basically, it's like how astringent, how bitter the wine can be. The tannins are coming from the skin and the seeds. So in the winemaking process, we keep the skin only for the reds. Well, that's the big picture, but let's say that way. So, which means like you can find tannins almost only in red wines. It will give to the mouth, tannins are giving to the mouth a drying sensation, or felt sensation on the tongue, like the tea that would have infused too much. That's the same effect. It's a bit of astringency and bitterness. Then the alcohol, easy. People are good to it at it usually. It's how hot is the wine. It's the feeling of heat in the back of your throat. Anything over 18 ABV is high. Well, this one we are tasting right now is 14.5, I think. I cannot find it here on the bottle, but it's 14.5, I think. And it's actually really hot already. And then the body, and this one is so cool because once people know what it means and how to notice it in the wine, that's cool. Like, you know, it's really something that sometimes people know if they like a wine because it's full body or light body. And it's like Cleveland. You have two teams or two kind of people in this world. Well, I like both, but usually people are really like, oh no, I only like bold wines. I only like light wines. Basically, the body is how bold it takes in your mouth. Does it fill your palate, or is it barely there? I like to compare it to light versus full body in wine, similar to the difference between the skin and the whole milk. So basically, water or oil. Is it like in terms of texture? Okay, so all of that, all those.
Hortense, before we move on to the next section, we just have a question from the chat box from Dan Cebolena. So
Yeah.
can you talk more about the wine legs or tears? How do they look? And are they important in assessing the quality of the wine?
Yes, okay. Yeah, I can go back. So this one is in the look. Well, I will go much deeper in the tasting of this wine, especially right after this. But just to understand what are the wine legs, you're right, because I didn't mention it. So the wine legs, it's basically when you swirl your wine, and I'm not sure you will be able to see it on the camera. Not much actually, but you have a lot of wine legs here. It's, well, you can call it tears or legs. If you're romantic, you can call it tears. It's like remaining liquid that will sort of pool up on the side of your glass. This basically tells us the wine is either higher in alcohol or higher in sweetness or both. It's a phenomenon that we call the Jeeps Marangoni effect. Nothing fancy here, it's just the name of the guy who discovered this effect. And yeah, actually, oh, now we can see them. The camera doesn't pay justice, pay tribute to this beautiful effect. So basically, it's viscosity. So you can imagine something like high in alcohol. It will be something that stick to the glass, basically, like syrup, basically. And it doesn't mean the wine is good or bad. It's just like an effect, and that can help you to really understand, to define the profile of the wine. So yeah, guys, feel free if you have other questions to drop them in the chat box. Okay, so Jacob's Creek double barrel. So I guess you guys have the bottles with you. Jacob's Creek double barrel is unique. It's a new concept, a new innovation in terms of winemaking process. So how is it made? So this one is the double barrel Shiraz, finished in aged Scotch whiskey barrel. Okay, or I will tell you everything. Basically, it's a premium red wine, so a premium Shiraz, matured first in traditional toasted wine barrels and then finished in aged whiskey barrels. So this is a unique double barrel technique, maturation, that is giving additional layer of complexity, more smooth tannins, an incredible smooth mouthfeel. It's really all about the texture and the mouthfeel. So it's the first time in the world that a brand has done this. So yeah, by leading a global wine brand, I mean, that's something pretty unique. Quite often.
Recording stopped.
Quite often in whiskey, we have this. So a whiskey can be aged in a barrel that previously held cognac, Sauternes, for example, wine. But someone from our team at Jacob's Creek said, okay, let's do the opposite. Like, let's age wine in a whiskey barrel. So basically, the wine is matured for up to 12 to 18 months, depending on the vintage. 12 to 18 months in French and American oak barrel. Why French or American? It's because like the French is giving something different than the American one barrel is giving. So it's to beneficiate from the two aromatic profile that each barrel will give to the wine. And then the wine is blended to create a rich, robust wine. And the red blend is 100% finished in whiskey barrel for 8 to 12 weeks. So that's quite a long time, actually, in total. And the Scotch whiskey barrel here for the Shiraz were selected because the rich intensity of the Shiraz was, is better suited to the more assertive style, I would say, of the Scotch whiskey. So, okay, let's taste it. I think now you guys are good with the tasting, you know everything, so let's start. Okay, so looking at the color, okay, it's ruby. We have quite a lot of legs, actually. Okay, to the nose. Okay, to the nose, I have a lot of vanilla notes. Okay, sweet red fruit, blackberry, ripe plum. Okay, let's taste it. So yeah, we don't have obvious whiskey flavors, but it's all about the texture. We have additional layer of complexity, more smoothness that's coming from the Shiraz. You can enjoy this wine with beef, smoky bacon, burger, pepperoni pizza, Korean food. Yeah. Okay, great. Then I hope you like this one. Let's move to the second red we have here. If you have questions, guys, please drop it. Okay. So the double barrel is Cabernet Sauvignon aged in Irish whiskey barrel. So here the Irish whiskey barrel were selected because the elegance of the Cabernet Sauvignon is well suited to the smooth style of the Irish whiskey, despite the fact that in the end no obvious flavors were given to from the whiskey, but it's really mild. I can smell some smoky nuts here. So, wow, it smells so good. Okay, so let's do the tasting together. So, by the way, and I didn't mention it, sorry, but this wine, you can decant it for 45 minutes before serving it. It's not too late, no worries, just enjoy the wine with me, but you can keep it for the next hour and drink it maybe in a few minutes. If you open it 30 minutes ago, it should be perfect. Okay, so about the color, so here we have the double barrel Cabernet Sauvignon. So the color is, I would say, deep ruby. Same, we have a lot of wine legs because the wine is high in alcohol, I would say. So to the nose, I have dark fruit. I have a lot of vanilla. I really can smell it. Some caramel, some smoky tobacco nuts. Okay, cheers, guys. Let's taste it. It's all about blackberries, blackcurrant. I have a bit of roasted nuts as well. Yeah, dark cassis, fruit flavors, black cherry. It's intense. I have a bit of licorice as well. And I have a lot of like freshness coming up after, like mint and subtle like toasty character, like something more like eucalyptus or mint, something very fresh in the end. That's really nice. That makes the wine super balanced. So this Cabernet Sauvignon has a beautiful balance of fruit, acidity, and tannins. So all the elements are really working in harmony. So these wines are delightful after a few years of aging. So you can really definitely keep it and try it maybe in 3 to 4 years and see how it is. So here the finish in Irish whiskey barrel soften the strong tannins to give more smoothness and have more like richness to the palate. So you can pair this wine with, I would say, roasted rack of lamb, ratatouille, eggplant, grilled tofu, pizza, burger. Well, basically, you need like something quite intense, yeah, in terms of intensity for the food, you have to give something decent to this wine. Okay.
We have another question from Miguel Guerrero. How long are they matured in the barrel? So how long is this double barrel matured in the barrel?
So yes, so the wine is aged for 12 to 18 months in French or American oak barrel. So 1 year, 1.5 years, let's say. And then you have an additional 3 months in aged whiskey barrel. So a total of, I would say, 1 year and 8 months, about something like that. So yeah, that's quite Quite good. Okay, if no more questions, but we will have time for that also later on. The last one we will try, and I agree we should have tasted first, but actually it's slightly sweet. And I can smell it from here. It's slightly sweet. So I thought like having something it's not too sweet, but having something sweet before the red, and I really wanted to focus on the red. So this one is more like the fun thing. It's all about just breaking free from expectation. That's why also I thought like having it at last would be great. It's refreshing. It's an easy drinking style of wine, elegant but not complicated. It's the taste of summer France celebration. So, okay, on the look, when we look at the wine, it's like really pale. It's a pale pink light wine. From that, you can expect a light and fresh, easy drinking wine. So to the nose. To the nose, I have a lot of strawberries and raspberries. I have a bit of cranberry as well. Fresh pear. And we can smell the sweetness. I don't know if you're able to smell it after the reds, but to me it's quite, I can really have it. Okay, cheers to this last wine. And after we will do the tasting with the cheese. So basically it will just go quick, but it's to explain you how the magic is happening and why this cheese pairs well with those wines. Okay. I have a lot of fragrant red berries with a touch of sherbet, juicy, a floral touch. It's quite floral actually. It's well balanced with a bit of citrusy nuts, so that's interesting. So you can just serve it on its own, chill with spicy food. Spicy food will be good because it can offset the spiciness on the food. So that's a good thing. You can have it with halo, light pasta dishes, seafood. That's the perfect match. Okay, guys, if you drop in the chat bar if you have any questions, I will try to answer them. Okay, now let's do the cheese and wine pairing. And I would say that just one of the life luxuries is enjoying an amazing wine and cheese pairing, especially when you can find the perfect match. And I will be honest, this is complicated, and the perfect pairing is rare. One of the things I look for when it comes to any wine pairing is how will the flavors of the wine complement the food. Will the combination bring out more flavors of the wines, or maybe to add extra flavors to the food we are tasting? So I will just try to share my best tips. If there is one thing I found in my lifetime trying to find the perfect pairing is nothing beats quality. If you have an exceptional wine, great quality food, amazing cheese, you won't be disappointed. So why wine and cheese pairing works? It's because like the winemaking and the cheese making has been working together for centuries. So it's no surprise that this combination goes so well together. Cheese is salty, and saltiness is your friend with wine, because salt will enhance your wine, and hence that's why also if you put salt in your food, it will enhance your dish. It will make it even better. So with salt, so here cheese, the wine will seem less acidic, less tannic, less bitter. So just basically more palatable and easier to drink. So tips number one, you can pair wines and cheese with equal intensity. That's the most important. Wine over 14.5 ABV, so the reds we are having tonight, they are more intense and they will taste better with more intense flavor cheese. Why? It's because if you have a delicate flavor cheese, you won't feel it, you won't taste it, it will seem so flat. The cheese will seem flat, and you don't want the cheese, all the wine to overpower the other one. Tips number two, bold red wine pairs best with aged cheese, because as cheese aged and lose their water content, it becomes richer in flavors and with its increased fat content. So that's these two attributes are ideal for matching both red wines because the fat content in the cheese can counteract the high tannins in the wine. Then there is two things we say. Sparkling wines are incredible with soft, creamy cheese because they basically it will offer a palate cleansing effect to the creamy and sticky cheese. And you can match, my fourth tips would be you can match super like funky blue cheese with sweeter wine. The sweetness will help to balance the funk, I would say, I don't know, in the cheese and make it taste creamier. So our first pairing is the Jacob's Creek Double Barrel and the Malagos Farmhouse Pepetto. So Pepetto cheese is made from cow's milk and flavored with peppercorn. So the Barossa is known for producing Shiraz. So I go back to my Shiraz wine. And the Shiraz has this peppery characteristic in the wine, which helps to work well with the green peppercorn in the Pepetto cheese. So I will have a sip of wine. It may cheers. No, it's not the good one, it's this one. And this is similar. Basically, the Pepetto is considered as a hard cheese. So it has more structure and it lasts longer on the palate. And this is similar to the Double Barrel Shiraz, which has a long finish of grapefruit flavor that blend extremely well with the Pepetto cheese. So tip number one, it was same intensity, and here it's the perfect match. Okay, so the Jacob's Creek Double Barrel Cabernet Sauvignon has to be paired with the Ingrid's rosemary. So let's try it. And Cabernet Sauvignon is known for its like herbal flavors, which will complement the cheese herbal nuts of the rosemary. So together they enhance the double barrel bold herbal flavors. You remember I told you like it's minty, eucalyptus, cinnamon, all of that is well blended together. And for the last one, we have our Jacob's Creek Moscato Rosé paired with the goat cheese capriccio. This pairing is about fun and enjoyment, just like the wine. So the Moscato Rosé is refreshing. So basically, we can have a lot of raspberry, strawberry, orange. That will give to the wine this slightly sweeter mouthfeel. So I would say that when we pair with the wine, it will match and balance perfectly the slight acidity you can have in the goat cheese, which makes it the perfect summer cheese. So that's the good thing about cheese and wine pairing. Guys, thanks for your attention. Lovely pairing. Kurt, over to you to share the great Boozy deals.
Okay, before I go over the deals, we have one more question from Paolo Franco. So what other Jacob's Creek flavor can pair well with the blue cheese?
Sorry?
What other Jacob's Creek flavors can pair well with the blue cheese?
What other Jacob's Creek, right? Over bottle,
yes.
right?
Yes.
With the blue cheese, I would say you can try the Riesling, you can try the Moscato. Yeah, I would say Riesling and Moscato pairs well if that's something like will counterbalance a bit of the funkness and the blue cheese and the stinky nuts that you have in the cheese. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Hortense, for the mouth-watering and informative tasting session. So for those watching us on Facebook, Jacob's Creek is available on Boozy. So go ahead and order online at boozy.ph and take advantage of our ongoing discounts and freebies until November 30. So stock up on Jacob's Creek wines for the holidays and gift bottles to family and friends because Jacob's Creek is definitely quality worth sharing. Now discover more by following us on Instagram at Jacob's Creek Wine or Facebook, fb.com/Jacob's Creek. You may also visit www.jacobscreek.com to learn more about all our other wines. Now, for those interested in Malagos cheese, you may contact them on the information that you can see on your screen. And Malagos is also available in Metro Manila, so you may purchase them from Vieco Foods, La Petite Fromagerie, Tilda Bakery and Cafes, The Market, Bread at Burgos, Eat Well at Home, The Bowtie Ducks, The Gourmand's Pantry, Real Food, and Thirsty Tales. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining us in the Facebook live stream.
Thank you so much for your attention,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, hi, Hortense. Before we end this call, let's not forget the Kahoot quiz, where top 3 winners will get 1 bottle of Jacob's Creek Moscato each. So this is exclusive to those who attended the session, those who bought the masterclass passes from Boozy.
Okay. So I'm sharing the Kahoot. So guys, you can go on Kahoot. You don't need an app. You just join at www.kahoot.it, and you can just type this game in here. We will wait for some time for you to try to stand the chance to win the Moscato. Okay, we have 4 people, that's good. Five, 6, that's great, quite a lot of people.
So just a reminder for those joining the Kahoot game, if you win the prize, please don't leave the call immediately. Don't forget to share your contact details. So we're gonna need your phone number, your name, and your mailing address. You may directly message boozy.ph.
Okay, shall we start? We can wait a bit more for a few people.
Last 10 seconds.
Yeah. So you will have 20 seconds for each question, so it's quite fast.
Okay, we have 14 participants. I think we can start.
Okay, let's start.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, 3, 2, 1. First question. So Jacob's Creek home is in the Adelaide
So red
Hills.
Adelaide Hills, blue for Coonawarra, yellow for Barossa, or green for Riverland. Again, the choices are red Adelaide Hills, blue Coonawarra, yellow for Barossa, and green Riverland. So the correct answer is Barossa.
Yeah, and the good question was Barossa, to be more precise. Good job, Jing. Okay, next question.